kind of at a loss of words right now. My day just got ruined. Just straight up ruined. All of a sudden, I was having a good day, totally fine day. Just got bad taste in my mouth. So I decided to take a chance, a risk, a roll of the dice, and completely lost. Completely. So, I don't. So dumb. Now I wish I could go back in time and erase what I did and decided to do. But so I decided to roll the dice on an auction. I decided to roll dice on a heritage auction and put in a pretty big book of ours that wasn't really selling, wasn't really moving. And I thought that it would do well. And it did not. It did not do well at all. Not at all. Not even close to doing well. So I had an Albedo number 2 and a 9.8. And this one was the personal copy of Steve Galachi, which was the creator of the book, not the creator of Usagi Yojimbo, which is Stan Sakai. So I've had that book forever as a personal copy I was going to keep, but, needed to move it. We had it up for sale for a long time, many, many months, maybe even a year. I don't really know. Many months. And it just wasn't really moving. We didn't really know what to price it at because there was no sales recently. So so then we had it up for like 50, and then we dropped it down to like 40. I think it was around 40. And then Heritage had a sale for like 55,000. And we're like, whoa, really? Okay. And a 9.8. So then we bumped ours to like 55. And we're like, okay, hopefully we'll get the same. And then it just sat and sat and sat and sat. We lowered the price. We never got any real concrete offers. We got some offers that weren't very good or didn't really follow through, things like that. And then we were thinking, okay, maybe that Heritage one was just a fake sale, or two people just got really into it, or I have no idea, because ours was available for like 40 at the time when it sold for like 55, and they're like, why didn't they just go for ours? Maybe it was like, just, I don't know, something fishy about that sale. But then in June, they had a 9.6, and it sold for 33,000. So I'm like, okay, that cements that 55,000 sale on Heritage for a 9.8 was worth it, because a 9.6 just sold for 33. So again, we still had ours up. The biggest offer that we had was in the low 30s. I think maybe even mid 30, maybe like 35. But again, there's a lot of caveats with it. I think our strongest all cash offer was like 33 or 32. I can't remember, somewhere around there. And so I was like, we've had this book forever. Now, we're like, we need to just move it and sell it. So we decided, I talked with Heritage here and there, and they're like, oh, it'll do good. It'll do great. We had one for 55, then we had a 9.6 for 33, it'll probably get around the same. And we're like, okay, we've been trying to sell this thing forever, and we can't even move it. Even way less, even like 40. We can't even move it, like 40, 45. And so then we're like, why don't we just roll the dice? I'm not expecting 55. I'm not expecting, if it went for 40, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. 45, I'd be okay. And then at 50 or above, I'd be ecstatic, right? That's what I was hoping for. And it did not turn out to be that way at all. It ended up going for 28,000. And then we have fees on top of that. I couldn't believe that. 28. That's less than they sold the 9.6 for. I don't understand it. I don't get it. A part of me thinks like this is all a sham, that they just bid up their own books, and then someone like me puts in the book, and then it just, and then it goes for what it actually would go for. I don't know. And I know a lot of you were like, why didn't you put in your own auction? And we thought about that. But we just thought it's so rare and unique. They only made 2,000. There's only a handful in a 9.8. And it's, one of a kind because it's the creator, his own personal file copy. And he even drew a little design on it too, a little rabbit. Um, we're like, okay, it's kind of like a one of one. Heritage seems to do better with that kind of stuff. And ours, it's obscure. It's like, how many people are really into Usagi Yojimbo? There might be a few people out there, but enough to buy the first appearance in a 9.8. And we were afraid that if we put it in our own auction, it would go for like 25 grand. That's what we were afraid of. And then it'd just be a bad look on us. And it'd be our book. So it wouldn't be like, that's the thing. It's like, people have come and offered like bigger books, like, oh, let me just throw it in your auction. And I'll have to explain to them, like, no, we don't want to accept it. Not bigger, just more unique and more rare and very expensive. And I'm like, look, number one, I'm afraid if it doesn't go for the price that it should go for, it's a bad look on us because then people will never trust us. And obviously the consignor is unhappy. So it's like being a new auction house, we have to be very careful on what we select. If it's a common book, like a Spider-Man 300 and a 9.8, yeah, use us. It'd be dumb not to use us because other places, are going to charge you way more in fees. We're only 5%. And, even a more expensive book, but still common, Fantasy 15, Amazing Fantasy 15, first Spider-Man, yeah, use us. It just makes the most sense. And you might be like, well, that's not common. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty common. You can go on eBay and just find one any day of the week. So it's fairly common. And it's Spider-Man, so very broad appeal. A lot of people are interested. Usagi Yojimbo, very not broad appeal, very unique appeal. And so, we sold a Fantasy 15 more than what it goes for on Heritage. Now, if you're talking about like a 9.0 or 9.2, like a near $1 million book, maybe not use us, and we would probably turn you away if you try to give us, here's a 9.2 Fantasy 15. We'd be like, I don't know if we could get the price that you're looking for, and it'd just look bad on us. It's too much risk for us to take if someone wanted to sell that book, like a Fantasy 15 9.2 through us in an auction, even though our fee would only be $500. So when you factor in, not only do we get a better price on the Fantasy 15, but then you factor in a fee, way, way better price. Because we're only $500 max fee. So we didn't know if we wanted to take the risk being too young of an auction house and afraid that the last known sale was $55,000. And what if it goes for $25,000 and then it just looks bad on us? No one would trust us again. And no one you would use us. So we were too scared to basically put that out there. We're thinking, okay, Albedo 2, kind of unique book, there's not a lot of people out there that may are interested in this book. They think it's cool, but are they willing to pony up, 40, 50 grand for this book? It's a lot of risk. So we're kind of scared that it's like, I don't know if we want to take that risk. Yeah, we don't have to pay any fees because it's our own book, but I don't know. It was too risky. It was just too risky for us we're afraid that it would go for like 25 grand. And lo and behold, we put it on Heritage, and that's what it goes for on Heritage. Like, they just sold a 9.6 for $33,000. Like, even if I got 35, I'd be like, okay, whatever. But 28? 28? Are you kidding me? This is preposterous. This is ridiculous. I'm still in shock right now. I'm still in shock. Because we had offers higher than that. Like good, solid offers. I'm never going to use Heritage again, pretty much. That's a given. Yeah, I mean, I've been burned by so many auction houses in the past that I just stopped using them. Just because I feel like whenever I send in something, it always does terribly, just like really bad. And I don't know why. Like, why? And we'll send in it's not like one thing. We'll send in a decent amount of stuff. And I thought, Heritage, they have a track record with this Albedo, getting good prices. Like, it makes no sense. The person that was the underbidder on the 9.6 would have been 32,000 or 31,000, whatever their increments are. Where was that person? You know, the person that was the underbidder on the 9.8, where was that person? Yeah, I'm just still in shock. Because it's like left a lot of money on the table. And yeah, I'm not happy. Let's put it that way. I'm not happy at all. I feel like I made a terrible, terrible decision that I shouldn't have. I should have had more faith in my own auction house. Well, I should have taken the offer to begin with, but I thought the offer was kind of low. I had multiple offers around the 30s, like low 30s, mid 30s. I should have just taken one of those, whatever one panned out. But we're kind of like, you know what? Let's just roll the dice, because let's say we take one for 32 or 35 or whatever. It's like, what if we get 55? You know, that's leaving 20 grand on the table. And yeah. But yeah, I should have probably taken one of those deals. But, you know, looking at it, it's just like, why would I take 35 when a 9.6 just sold for, 33? That seems, and this is like a one of one, because it's the creator of the comic book. It's only for 28. This is so bad. Just such a bad look on Heritage too. Like, really? It's going to go for half, and it's even going to less than the 9.6 did? Like, garbage price. Just straight up garbage price. Like, I couldn't believe that. I'm like, were the other two fake? Were the other two that you sold propped up or something? Because that just seems ridiculous. Because then what happens when a real 9.8 comes across, which would have been mine, and then it does this? It sells for like half. The last one sold like a year ago. Not even. And then the 9.6 just recently sold for 33. So it's such a bad look on Heritage. Of course, I had to take that hit. Just very, overall, just very upset. Just very, ruined my day for sure. Probably ruined my week. Because that was the money we're going to use. I mean, we'll still use it, obviously. But that's another thing. I had to give them this book month and a half ago, so they could get it in their magazine. And I won't get paid on it for 2 months from now. What is it? We're mid-September. They're not going to pay me until beginning of November. So almost 2 months from now. Over at our site, we'll pay you like within a couple weeks. Just terrible. Just all around terrible. Just bad experience. I guess I know, how others feel. I guess when you come to Collectors Comics, a much better experience. I don't know. Yeah, so I'm a little pissed at myself that we didn't, like, if we were just going to roll the dice in an auction, we didn't trust our own auction. Like, with like such a high caliber book. Because normally in our own auctions, everything does pretty decent. Even breaks some records from time to time. That's, always luck. What two people are bidding at the same time. But yeah, man, I just thought, like, it's obscure. It's a little more rare. They have a bigger clientele, and they will get us, close to, if not top dollar. No, didn't even ever come close to that. Not even close. Nothing even close. Nothing. Just awful. Just awful. Terrible. I don't know what to say. Other than I'm mad. I'm angry. I'm very angry. I'm angry at a lot of things I've already explained. But I guess now I've learned a valuable lesson. Don't trust anyone else but yourself. So, yeah. So I won't be doing that again. I won't be ever using Heritage again. I don't see a point. Like, we have our own auction house. Obviously, I mean, if I would put that in our own, we probably would have got $25K, basically what you got at Heritage, and then also they have their fees. So, yeah, I'm still like processing it. But it's like it's basically like a 4-month turnaround time for just. It literally just happened. I just put on the mic, so like I'm literally still processing this. I'm just very upset. Very upset. All right. Well, I'm not going to bum out your day. Have a good day.